Hello, it's Mr. Ferguson here, and we're going to go through the short method for multiplication. So like with all of our methods, we really want to make sure our columns are lined up. So we'll start off by labeling our columns, and this time we've got 4,372. So I'm going to put ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. Again, you don't have to label it every single time, but it's helpful when, just to make sure everything ends up in the right place, especially when we go on to doing long multiplication where we have shifting digits and things like that. So it does help to lay out our columns. So I'm going to put this in the right place, 4,372 multiplied, and again make sure that 8 goes underneath in my ones column. And my little scaffolding trick here is often let children, if they're learning this method for the first time, have their homework diaries where they can recall this 8 times table, and you know they could just write it down, and that way each time they have to recall it, as they're learning this method, they don't have to spend a lot of their brain time thinking about what my 8 times tables are. They can quickly refer to a scaffold, and that helps them develop this method at the same time hopefully developing their times tables. And what we do in lessons is we often start off with tables that are nice and simple. We might have something like 582 times 4, which are nice times tables to start with. As they go up, they should be able to use all their tables in this method. So we're going to start here, 8 times 2. And again, the language we're going to use, similar to adding, is carries. So we often are going to have carries when we do this method in most of the columns, unless you're multiplying by 2 or a 3, but most of the time there are going to be carries. So we'll start to do 8 times 2, which is, if we go to here, 8 times 2, 16. So what I'll do with that, I'll put my 1 there, my 6 there. The next column, 8 times 7, 56. The mistake children often make is they will forget to add that carry. And it's a way of, checking, making sure they've checked. One of the things when they finish this calculation is to go for that check, have you added all your carries on? So what I'll do is I'll change that to 7 because I'm adding on my carry. So now in the next column I'm doing 8 times 3, 24, and we're going to add that 5 on, so it's going to give me 29. One mistake children sometimes make is not as common, but they occasionally get those muddled around. So we sometimes end up with the 2 there and a 9 there, which obviously is completely flipped round, and we need to make sure the 2 and the 9 are in the right order. Another little thing they do is they just put the 2 straight into there, and again that's not going to give us enough room. So just making sure that that small carry goes at the bottom, it's nice and small, and it's really important the carry is small, because when we do long multiplication, if it's massive, if it takes up the whole box, it's going to get in the way of my next row. So it's a nice small carry, and again it's at the bottom because putting it at the top, it gets muddled a bit with exchanging from subtraction. And then we've got 8 times 4, 32, and I'm going to remember to add on my carry, and then I've got 34,976. So yeah, like I said, I think the 2 things children struggle with this one the most is make sure they know their tables, and again I give them a scaffold, because if they're learning this method, they don't want to use 2 parts of their brain, one part remembering tables, another part thinking about the process of the method. It's okay to give them that table to scaffold them. And the other mistake is, again, similar to the addition, is forgetting to carry in the first place, forgetting to put the little carry there, or it's forgetting to add on the carry once they've done that. So again, I hope that's helpful for the short multiplication method.